Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Now, I know I've been MIA, and that's for various reasons. And the number one reason is, aside from Olivia, no one is really putting out content, at least the people that I watch with you guys in the mommy sector. And I did allude in my last upload that I'll be branching out and doing some other things. So I've been thinking and mulling and do what I normally do, get inside my head and make it more complicated than it has to be. So there's been a delay in me putting out content, but we got a treat today because Jasmine decided to show up. Now, she has shown her face over the last couple of weeks, but watching her sometimes is like watching paint dry. And she has been giving us dry content. She's been doing this for quite a while. Well, today she kind of got back into her jazzy bag. These are the kind of lives that pretty much got a lot of us through the pandemic, and it's her begging lives. Her begging lives are her best work, unfortunately for us, but maybe not unfortunately for us because it's entertaining. It's and some people might say, "Oh, that's you're being mean. You're being mean." No, I'm just telling the truth. So before we get into it, I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. If you would be so kind to do so, I would appreciate that very much. And this is a live that she deleted. The Erics was able to catch it, so a shout out to the Erics. She does great work when it comes to jazz, and I do appreciate the fact that she made it available for reactors to react to. Jasmine, again, she deleted this live, she took it down, but a couple of reactors were able to catch it, and Erica with the Erics was one of those that was able to do so. So I'm going to put a link to her video in the description. So if you don't want to watch it with my talking, then feel free to do so. So also, I just want to let you know that our Jasmine, she went live again. She sure did. She went live again tonight, and she moved that first live to members, and then she picked up, I guess what happened, because if you caught the first, or rather, let me start over. So she deleted the first live. The second live, while I was watching it, because I didn't know she went live, I just happened to see that there was a video, another live video up, and I thought it was the one that Erica had captured, but no, this was a new live. And while I was watching it, I noticed the chat disappeared, but I also went ahead and proceeded to start downloading it before I started watching it. So in the middle of watching it, I noticed that the chat replay disappeared, and I'm like, what's going on here? And my brain didn't put the connection together because I've seen this happen before, like with Liv and even Jasmine Wineglass. Quite a few of these mommies will do this. They'll delete the live during the while you're rewatching it. So I didn't put it together that she was, she had basically removed the live. She didn't delete it. She moved it to members. So I'm like, oh. And here I am thinking, like, darn it, I was just in the middle, of watching it. Then I remember, no, you downloaded it, or you were downloading it. Let's see if it downloaded. Lo and behold, it did. So as I'm going back, and I was just going to check her members to see how much it was because I noticed that it was saying it moved to members. I'm like, how much is she charging for members? Not that I was going to sign up for her members. Definitely not. But I was just curious. And I said, wait a minute. Is it back up? Did she edit it? Is that what happened? Because it was shorter. So at the end of that live, because I wouldn't watch my download, it cut off abruptly. But what happened, she restarted another live. So she went live 3 times total. So in the middle of rewatching the third live, same thing happened. But again, before I started watching the third live, I downloaded it. So I have both of those lives. Now the problem is, and I'm just speaking for myself as a content creator, is that the first live was deleted, And I think she went ahead, and if she did move it to members, she is no longer on members, I don't think, because it's not showing as a members video. But the Erics already have it. A couple of reactors have already reacted to it. It makes no sense for her to keep it on members. So that's why I'm going to react to this first one. But the last two, they are on members. Okay. So at that point, to me, even though copyright, I could take issue, is it copywritten? But I do have some ethics and I do have some morals. And I feel like it wouldn't be appropriate to pull her content out of her members and react on it. Her lowest tier of her members is pretty cheap if you are interested in joining her members. I am not trying to promote her, but what I'm saying simply is that I'm just going to give you a rundown of what I observed on those last two lives in conjunction with this one. So I won't be playing the live. I will say this because, listen, I'm just going to be full disclosure. I lurk over there on LSA. If you want to see some things, if you head over to her thread over on LSA, they have screenshotted some very interesting things. Okay, so as I'm reacting and we're talking about it tonight, or rather, I'm talking about it tonight, I may allude to some of those things. But yeah, let me just go ahead and not hold you guys any longer. I just wanted to make sure you understood what's happening here as I talk. There are, if you're not aware, she did go live later again to address this whole subject. So there is more to her story. But without further delay, let's go ahead and get into this video.
I'm just gonna come talk to y'all because I'm kind of just having a fucking moment. There's so much stuff going on. I'm cold. So, hey y'all. I'm so irritated. I am so irritated. I'm irritated with so much right now, man. I feel like I'm talking to y'all before I even post my video. I just don't have it in me. Hey. Thanks for subscribing. So, I hate being put in positions that I have to do things. Hey mods. So, y'all gonna see the vlog and y'all gonna see how I'm just gonna talk about everything. This past week, I'm gonna say that has been overwhelming as fuck. And I feel like it's just one thing after another. And I'm not getting into the extra stuff, but I'm just gonna get like the extra that comes with it. I'm just so annoyed and I'm all over the place. So, as you guys know, I go to the weight loss clinic, right? And I paid for my shots, I paid for all my stuff, right? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? My bad. So yeah, I go to the clinic and I do my normal checkup, normal routine. Once you start over, mind you, before that, y'all, I switched over my birth control pills. Right. My regular pills, they started. I don't know. For some reason, I was having to pay for them out of pocket, and I switched like before going there and all that stuff and doing everything, thinking.
Now, just to let you know, this is Jasmine's internet acting funky. So there will be a few skips throughout this video, but let me just point something out that kind of stood out to me even the first time I heard this. A couple of things. Number one, she's still going to the weight loss clinic, and to me, it looks like she's gaining weight. But since we're learning that she was pregnant, maybe that kind of sort of explains it, but not really to me. But second of all, if you can get a home pregnancy test that will tell you yay or nay instantly, I don't know if this is something that is true. I'm just assuming here. But even when I was in my quote unquote fertile years, when I was possibly potentially somebody's baby mama, tests came back pretty quickly. And considering that this weight loss clinic is administering drugs that could, be a detriment to a pregnancy, you would think that they would get a lab on that like real quick. That's something that could be done in like real time before they even prescribe her shots or pills or whatever she's taking. That's my first thing. The second thing is Jasmine kind of eye rolls and looks up at the ceiling and looks everywhere but in the camera when she's talking about this birth control situation. Now, number one, they are fast and loose with birth control. I think there was even a point where they weren't interested in birth control. And we know that Jasmine's birth control has always been the plan B. But here's the thing. Again, when I was in my fertile years and I was taking things like birth control, specifically birth control, that is prescribed by your gynecologist. And I would think if she's switching pills and there may be an issue with pregnancy, a good doctor, a good physician, nurse practitioner, whoever she's seeing at the clinic, would say to her, well, Jasmine, you're switching pills. And while you're switching pills, at least for the next 30 days until after your next cycle, make sure you use protection, a condom, along with taking this pill because there's a risk of pregnancy. Okay, that's what I would assume is being said. And I'm jumping ahead because I just have to say this because it just burns me that these women are so irresponsible with their health, with their health in general. Birth control, yeah, the reason why they call it birth control is because it prevents or it's designed to prevent pregnancy. But protection is designed to protect or prevent you from getting something you can't get rid of. Because there is a cure for pregnancy. I hate to say it like that, but there is a cure for pregnancy. But there is no cure for the house in Virginia. They may have new drugs out there that can manage it and keep you alive. And there's other things out there. There's other STDs out there. And I'm not sure if YouTube lets you say them, so I'm not going to say the name of them that can put you in jeopardy. And some of them you can't get rid of. And I believe it's in Texas, and I don't know if it's Houston. I believe it's in the Houston. I don't know if it's statewide, but it's on the rise. And for her to only be worried about pregnancy and to be so flip and cavalier about her, reproductive health and her life, it's on course. It's on par for how they, and she's not the only one. And when I say they, I'm talking about Liv. And there's a case for Strong Mommy Chris, even though if things are true about her husband, STDs can still be passed, but pregnancy probably is not on the table. But I just find it just sad. I can't even say interesting, fascinating. It's sad. It's I don't know what's going on here. If I don't know what's going on with this generation because it's part of Jasmine's generation and younger. Who are just so glib. Maybe it's because they didn't live through the fear and that those years that my generation, I'm Gen X, we lived through the whole House in Virginia uh, epidemic. Okay, when people were dying and they didn't know why, and people were getting this illness, this autoimmune illness, and they didn't know why. It was a very scary time, and you had to buckle down and you had to really be careful. Now, I'm not saying that we didn't get caught up or some of us didn't get caught up, but we knew the stakes. And if we were really serious, and a lot of us, and I just say a lot of us because in my circle, that was the main thing. That was the main thing. Now, we all were young and dumb and we do foolish things. When it comes to Jasmine and Olivia, these women are in their mid 30s and they're 5 kids deep. Liv is 5.5 now. And you don't know how this thing works. You guys have just been lucky. They've been lucky. And they may have some things that we don't know about and they're not sharing. And, it's possible that they were able to keep that on the hush hush. But they are just reckless, and they're playing Russian roulette with their lives and the lives of their kids, and it's a shame. It's a shame.
The most annoying shit ever when I'm trying to fucking talk and this shit keeps cutting off. Can y'all hear me? Just let me know if you can hear me. It is so windy. So yeah, I'm gonna give y'all a big chunk of what I've been dealing with. And but I'm gonna leave details out. And the only reason I'm giving this is because now I feel like I'm stuck and I'm asking for some help. And I'm kind of just, it's just so much that goes into the whole thing. And I'm kind of just irritated. So I did my blood work. I did all that. And they usually call you back and put it in my chart and everything. And I checked my voicemail. And the lady was like, don't take your stuff. You're pregnant. And when I tell y'all, like, my emotions were all the fuck over the place.
Let me pause it right here. If you look in the comments, and I meant to tell you guys, make sure you read the comments because they are absolutely hilarious. And Larry's Pac-Man McDonald says, "Save us the story time. Just say how much you need." And that is pretty much where her chat was at. And we're what? How long are we into this video? Let me check real quick. We're only 5 minutes and 29 seconds into the video, and the gig is up pretty much. The people are tired, and they're already saying, "Get to it." So look at the comments as you're listening because they are hilarious and they're on point. People are on point with Jazz. They're fed up with her, and you notice a different tone than Liv's chat when she comes here to BS beg her loyalty gang. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more and point out some of the reasoning I believe is behind that.
So I was just like, what the fuck? How? And so I'm so irritated about everything right now. Like emotionally, I'm just all over the place. All over the place. Because I wasn't expecting it. It's other stuff, like I said, to go into play. Um, I wasn't expecting some of this stuff. I'm so irritated, bro. So, I tell the person that I'm pregnant and everything. That's that, whatever. I'm not gonna get into all that stuff, but I hadn't made a decision, and it's not legal here in Texas, of course, but I was already leaning towards, we were leaning towards keeping it and all that shit, whatever, right? But I was also leaning to ordering pills, and I didn't. But long story short, I hate that it's so hard to talk about this, and so the weekend comes, and we're supposed to have a talk, and all of a sudden, I take a shower, and I get out the shower, and I realize that there is a little bit of blood on my clothes, right? Um, there was blood on my clothes.
Okay, I'm going to pause it here because this is very important. And when she did the follow up lives, she says in those lives that she was going to keep the baby. She basically said that her and this mystery man that's not her boyfriend, she tried to allude to them not being in a relationship anymore. I suspect there was no relationship. Jasmine was just a late night booty call. In typical Jasmine fashion, she can't tell a story. She can't create a storyline like Liv does. She can't make this person, Liv doesn't just make her person or persons, these mystery men, three-dimensional. She makes them four-dimensional. Liv goes above and beyond because Liv's imagination is like 10 light years ahead of Jasmine's. Liv has a very active imagination where Jasmine does not. Liv sees in colors, rainbows, and unicorn, and Jasmine just sees in black and white and maybe gray. But the key thing I want you guys to key in on is that she said that she was going to order some pills. So I don't know anything about this life. I don't. Again, I'm dating myself, but again, I'll throw this out here. These options were not available. At least they weren't made available to people in my class, social status rather, because we all know the rich had access to a lot of stuff. Okay, stuff just didn't, like the Plan Bs and all that stuff didn't just come overnight. That's something that's always been out there. It's just the access to it has been limited to the people who have the money and the access. So we all know, like I said before, Jasmine's idea of birth control is Plan B. Well, there is something out there called Plan C. And she lives in the state of Texas where, terminations are not legal. And I think that I still believe, and I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on this, that, no, maybe Texas is completely not legal. I know in Florida they have a window. But anyway, Jasmine is not talking like, she's only a couple of days. It sounds to me like she was further along. And she says that she decided not to. And then her and Dude were going to talk about it over the weekend. And boom, the baby, she miscarried. Now, the first was on a Sunday. Okay. And the reason why I say the first, March 1st, is because in the video that she did later on, the two videos, the first of the two videos, she shows the paperwork. And on the paperwork, it shows that she went to the emergency room on March 1st, and it was in the early mornings. So she said that they were supposed to talk this weekend. I'm assuming most people, you thinking, okay, maybe Friday, Saturday, not Sunday. So her timeline to me is kind of sketchy. The reason I'm saying all of this, I don't want to hold you guys too long. I want to let this play out because I really don't want this video to be too long because the rest of it's just a bunch of hemming and hawing. And anyway, I just want to make sure that I cover this. Is that it's mighty suspicious to me that she brings that up and then kind of throws it away. And so I had made a community post and I said I wanted to talk about this quote unquote miscarriage. What's this all about? I think there's more to the story. And I'm just going to tell you up front what I think. And looking at it this way, it's just giving a different spin. I don't know this to be a fact, but these girls know what they're doing. Like Olivia, she knew when she was fertile. That's why she wasn't surprised she got pregnant. That was her plan when she left Florida. They're good at testing the waters and doing what they can. I believe Liv's whole homeless thing, she kind of lucked into that. She was testing things out. And even the whole, pregnancy storyline while she was in Florida. I don't believe she was, this current pregnancy is a result of something that happened in Florida. I don't think she was pregnant in Florida. In fact, I believe Joey said that she wasn't. And that was all a ploy, of course, to get the money to get him down to Texas. But they try things out. Liv is a little better at it. Liv likes to test the storyline. She gets her storylines from the reactors, from the chat, and from LSA. Then she does her little brewing, her witch's brew, and she decides how she's going to spin it out to us, and she tests it. And right now I'm kind of off track, but I'll bring it back around. Right now, Liv is testing out this granddaddy daddy storyline, grandpa daddy storyline. Can we call him Grandpa Bay? That sounds weird, but I want to call him Grandpa Daddy. She's breaking up with them one day, or going to break up with them one day. Then the next day she's in love. Then the next day she's not in love. She did that with Gamer Bay. She did that with Joey when she was pregnant with Kailani, and then we know how that all played out. But she's done that with every relationship that we've seen on screen and off screen. She even did it with Gerard, the love of her life, the man that she really, really wants. But Liv is good at doing that, and she's good at doing it with a smile on her face. And I think this girl literally thinks this stuff out like before she goes to bed at night. She kind of plans it out. I wouldn't be surprised if she's not writing it out or typing it out. But I think again, Olivia has been playing make believe since she's a little girl. So she's really good at it, where Jasmine is not. So Jasmine is trying her best to do the Liv. So she comes on here and she's trying to give us her sob story. But the problem is Jasmine does not know how to tell a story. And she tries to play it off like, oh, it's because everything that's been going on, with her issue with her car, getting a new car, her being sick, and now we find out she's pregnant. And by the way, I believe, when did she get that car? I think she got that car like last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend prior. It's kind of hard to tell because she plays around with the timelines on her blogs. But remember when she was hinting at her having car trouble and or the car being taken, she was guzzling wine out of a Taco Bell cup, and she knew she was pregnant at that time. Again, Jasmine doesn't give us a timeline. Number one, she does it to CYA, but she doesn't realize that even though she's not giving us firm timelines, it just doesn't make sense when she tells the story. It's choppy, it's convoluted, and she's even going to break this story up. Like I said, we'll see how far we get through this because there's really not a lot to it. And if you want to see the whole thing, you can go over to the Erics. I just want to make sure again that I point these things out because unfortunately she moved the other two lives into members. But once you see those other two lives, to me, this makes sense. So what I'm trying to say is Jasmine has concocted this story about this miscarriage. I do believe that she did, quote unquote, miscarry. But my theory is that Jasmine knew that she was not having this baby. Jasmine can't even afford to have one child. Basically, she only has Stanka, Legend in her custody. The other kids are pretty much with Philip, and all she has to do is feed them every now and again. She already has her bills out there. She created a new bill with this new car, and she went on to say in the later lives that it was cheaper for her to buy a new car than to buy a cash car. So I'm assuming she's talking about down payments. What it sounds like to me is that Jasmine got in over her head with this car, and she was so excited to flex, just like Liv. They love to flex on the people, and they don't think it through. It sounds like a good idea at the time, but when the reality hits, then the real deal hits. And I suspect that Jasmine must have realized that, yeah, the car, you may be able to put X amount down, and this is what your monthly payments are going to be. But Jasmine told us basically she did not have a license. That means that Jasmine has been an uninsured driver for quite a bit of time. And I don't know how they do it in Texas, but where I'm from in Ohio, if you've been an uninsured driver and you've had a vehicle, or you have some, like, maybe a documentation of you driving without insurance, your insurance is going to be hella high. So between the new car payment, the down payment, insurance, and the rent, she's coming up short. And when I'm thinking this through, I looked up this information regarding the Plan C because I know nothing about it. Never needed to know anything about it, to be quite honest. I was never in this predicament. Plan Cs can cost anywhere from $200 to $500. I believe Jasmine knew that she was not going to keep this baby. I don't think she Plan B'd it out because she probably was drinking and smoking and doing Lord knows what else. She didn't do her regular, regimen. If she's to believe, maybe she was on birth control and she switched over. But she was still being reckless and not thinking it through. So Plan B, she couldn't get the Plan B going. So she had to move to Plan C, and Plan C is not cheap. Again, $200 to $500. She was asking for $500. That's my spidey senses are tingling. And when you take the Plan C, it causes cramp. It causes cramping and bleeding. Okay, heavy bleeding. So even though terminations aren't legal in Texas, you can order these through telehealth online. You can get a doctor online to prescribe you this medication, and it's able to be shipped to all the states. It can be shipped to Texas. And so that is what I'm sensing that Jasmine did because she knows she can't afford to have this child. And again, being a late night booty call, this man was not going to be involved. And she's not like Liv. She can't spin a tail to save her life. So what is she going to do? She can't keep it. And she can't get rid of it in Texas. So those were her options. And going to the emergency room, they're just going to do baseline. She's going to tell them that she was pregnant and she started cramping and that was another thing. She said that she went to the hospital and they checked her. Well, you'll see it in the videos that they checked her levels, and it was showing that she was miscarrying. And she went home, and then that's when she started doing the cramping and the bleeding. But I think again with her timeline, it's messy and it's all over the place. So that's what I'm thinking. She already knew she was miscarrying, and she knew too that, not really thinking it out, this was her plan all along. That's what the whole setup was with these lives with her in the bed. The woe is me, that I'm sick. And another thing, she was perfectly fine that day she was in that kitchen and she was drinking that wine. When the car was first repossessed. Then the next day, all of a sudden, she's got this bad cold. No, Jasmine was hungover. And then the next day after that, she has, the vid. She's deathly ill. And these are all of her excuses. And Jasmine is just doing what Jasmine does. She got herself in a bind. She got in over her head. She's depressed. And she's basically doing a live action replay of 12-3 and of the 55 was it $553 saga, and the I need $1,000 rent. It's a bag, and she's trying to set it up. Now Liv has been more successful at it. She sometimes stumbled. Liv stumbled when she was trying to get over on the rent, and she's stumbling now when she's trying to get her so-called CNA classes paid. But she did it perfectly. Her bag perfectly. Liv did over the summer, and Jasmine thought she could replicate it. Jasmine, you should have moved into the new car. Should have packed Stanka's backpack up, grabbed your gym bag, and you should have hunkered down in your driveway in that car and turned the lights out and told everybody that you now have to live in your car. Dodash is doing it. If you don't know who Dodash is, go check her out. She gave up her apartment and she says she's living in the car, and that is a hustle that she kind of recycles. She finds herself in these self-made pickles, and she starts soft or dry begging the people for money. Jasmine hasn't perfected, but I'm going to go ahead and let her finish and see how much further I want to go in this video. I might go ahead and let it play out and stop it very little, but that's where I'm at with this. I believe that Jasmine, this was technically a miscarriage by the medical standards of a miscarriage, but this wasn't something that Jasmine that was unexpected to Jasmine. This is just my theory. This is all allegedly. If you think it could be something different, let me know in the comments. But hopefully she'll take those two lives off of private, so you or rather out of membership, or maybe someone who doesn't care goes ahead and plays them. And if you did see those live, you can back me up, on how she's trying to do damage control for this disastrous live from earlier.
And I noticed it. And then I went and wiped and I seen it and I was like, what the fuck? And mind you, this whole time I ain't been posting really. My money dropped. It's just like one thing after another, bro. And I'm really just overwhelmed. So I go to the hospital. That's hence why I haven't been on YouTube. I haven't entertained any bullshit. And they did the exams. My levels still said I was pregnant, but they were really low. At this point, they were asking, like, are you cramping? My blood pressure was extremely high. They tried to keep me in the hospital, and I was like, I'm not staying here. I have all these kids. Is you crazy? um, so I go to the hospital, did the test, did the ultrasound, did all that crap. At that point, whenever I did like the exam, I saw the blood, and I was kind of just, my emotions were all over the place. They're still kind of just like, YouTube is starting to piss me off.
Now that was Jasmine's glitch.
My bad, y'all. The comments keep on. The fucking video keeps cutting off. I feel like I gotta backtrack. I was in denial when I found out, and I went and bought, I don't even know, a whole bunch of pregnancy tests. And
Okay, so you're not confused. Excuse me. So you're not confused. She said she's got to backtrack. Now, what she's talking about now happened before she started to miscarry and go to the hospital. Like I said, Jasmine does not know how to tell a story. So I think she realized that she left out some key triggers that was supposed to encourage people to feel sorry for her and to open up their wallets.
Let's see. I don't even know if I can. Hold on. Can I see?
And why do we need to see her pee sticks? This is crazy. What is that going to prove?
No, I can't do it. So, whatever. I bought a whole bunch. And yeah. So, back up to the. I suck at telling stories because I just feel this is how my mind has been, y'all. Like, my mind's been like this because it's been like sporadically all over the place because I didn't know what the fuck to do. Because I just feel like it's just overwhelming. So, yeah, I was bleeding. Later on that night, that's when the cramps came. I started cramping really bad. Um, and then the bleeding picked up. And that picked up. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even know why I decided to come talk about this. I should do a video. Because then I can control myself from crying through a video. So the bleeding picked up, and I kind of just knew. Even though the paper already said it from the hospital, that I was going through a miscarriage, but it was just a lot of blood. So even when I went and did to get my levels checked again, it was so much blood that it was on the floor during the exam. You know, oh my god, I'm not to cry. It was on the floor
I don't see any
during the
tears.
exam. Like I
There
ain't
was
never
no
bled like
tears,
that before in
Jazz.
my life.
Quit it.
And yeah, my levels are down, pregnancy levels. So she said I passed the pregnancy, but their concern was that I was bleeding so much. And my blood count was extremely low. And I don't know. I have to work some kind of way. I'm just, I feel like, and I'm just like reliving it right now. And I'm still bleeding. Like I feel like she said it's supposed to stop and it still hasn't stopped. And then other stuff came into play. Long story short. And it pisses me off. Like it's, and I feel like this is so complicated. Like I've been very responsible with certain things, and I've been very responsible with things, and now I'm irritated because I already, without saying it, but saying it, is that I need help. Um, I need.
Before she gets into the I need help part of this, let me also to make very clear in my research because these women think we're dummies. They don't realize that Google exists, and heck, Google has got their AI Gemini on the team, so it's even quicker than doing just a general Google search. So what happens with the Plan C, if that's my theory is that possibly is what she did. There is heavy bleeding for like the first 3 to 4 hours, and they said that it will lighten up, but bleeding may continue and spotting may continue for a few weeks. So at least spotting for a few weeks. So if she's still bleeding and having, some discharge, that's typical. That's nothing, you know, unheard of. Now, what got me is that she went initially because she was spotting. It said she was still pregnancy, but her levels were low and she was miscarrying. So when she got home, the cramping started, and that's when she had the heavy bleed out. She apparently must have went back to the hospital, and that's when they told her she passed the baby and all the other things. Where's that paperwork, Jasmine? Okay, you had the paperwork for the first visit. Where's the paperwork for the second visit? Or are you trying to say that March 1st is the second visit? Don't let me drive your storyline. You're not as good as Liv at spinning it. But again, you leave a lot of open doors. You basically leave a lot of open garage doors that people can drive a car through. Hell, you leave a lot of open tunnels big enough for semis to drive through with your story. I need some clarification there, sis. You never clarified that. I forgot she hadn't got to the beg part. I was so focused in on this whole pregnancy miscarriage storyline and the way she jacked this up that I completely forgot that she's begging. So let me not interrupt her and let me get her beg on.
Help with the rest of my rent. I'm so irritated. This is so much. It's just so overwhelming. All this is over fucking whelming to me right now. And I'm so irritated with some stuff. Like I just I did get my taxes. There's more that goes into play with it that I'm just this is a lot more. But it's just these past couple of weeks have been something else. I'm just so irritated with stuff.
I'm so focused in on her little story, her bad story, that I'm forgetting the comments. I hope you guys are not forgetting the comments. But somebody asked, Merciful asked, "Where's Chris?" And so this is another thing, I'm going to try not to pause again, but Jasmine is so silly that I probably will. I apologize. This video is only like a half an hour, but man, again, if you want to watch it uninterrupted, head over to the Erics. Link will be in the description. But she's asking for money to help pay her rent, but she doesn't want to discuss what happened to all the money that she had from her taxes or what other things are coming into play. See, that's the difference between her and Liv. Liv doesn't come on here with this woe it's me, this downtrodden attitude. Liv comes with her full chest, and we know she has a big chest. But Liv comes with her full chest, and she will say, "Hey, you guys, I got myself into a pickle. I had this unexpected situation, and I really need you guys' help. Any little thing that you guys can do to help me out, it would be much appreciated. I really would appreciate it. I mean, you guys, you're my loyalty gang, and you guys rock with me." And I adore you guys and I love you. And yeah, the haters are out there and they're going to hate. They're going to come at me. They're going to make me look silly for not being able to pay my rent after I just got this new car. Because the thing is, what Jazz is not connecting is that her miscarriage, she's not connected to dots. How does the miscarriage connect with you needing $500? Now I've connected the dots in my head. Is that she, of course, getting in over her head with this new car and possibly insurance and down payment, plus having to come out of pocket for this magic pill. And Jasmine, like Phil said, Jasmine already has her money planned out. So she wasn't expecting to have to spend that extra money. That wasn't in her calculation. And Jasmine wants that money back. And she decided to come to the people, test it out, and see if the people will bite.
But I don't know. So what in the fuck? I'm so irritated, bro. Like what in the I do live I mean, y'all, I'm not even getting into all the details. Y'all just literally got a small glimpse of stuff just with this. Like it ain't even like all of it. My entire life. I'm literally giving you a smidge of what's going on.
Jasmine, I broke my rule. I'm sorry, guys. Jasmine, open up your mouth. Closed mouths do not get fed. So you dragging this down the road, or you kicking this can down the road for absolutely no reason, because there's obviously nothing more to it other than you just want a free 500. That's what it sounds like to me. This sounds like there's no urgency going on here. You have options. This was just one of your options, and you decided to play your hand to see if you can get this option to play. Because this is not making sense to me. It's frustrating me. I watched this, and I'm watching this a second time after watching your subsequent lives, and it's pissing me off. It's really pissing me off. You were about to say, yeah, you do live comfortably, and you want to continue to live comfortably. That's why you have your hand out. And you're talking about we only seen a piece of what's going on. Then you need to tell us the rest. You need to tell us how you're going to pay the people back their $500. Stop asking for nothing. Give us a story. Give us a show. Give us some love. Give us some appreciation. Look us in the eye when you beg for this money. Because your girl Liv can show you a master class on how to do that. How to say F the haters at the same time saying I love you people. Those days are gone when the Miss what's the name of her, Miss Valerie, all those people that would just give her money, buy her couches. Those days are gone, Jasmine. The babies aren't babies no more. And you only got Stank-a-Bug, and you brag about your 5-bedroom mansion, and you brag about your 2024, 25, 26 brand new car. You brag about all this stuff. You're living the life, yet you come with your hand out at least 2 to 3 times a year. And you wonder why people stay on your neck. This is a mess. I would have took this mess down too. You look silly. You sound silly. And again, shout out to the Erics for capturing this mess.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to worry about my rent. But things change. Things change in people's lives. And yeah. I don't want to get into details because it's just a lot. Like I feel like I gave y'all a big chunk of details, but I just like my head is hurting even thinking about all this shit. Like I barely have the energy to do anything. I'm tired. That's another thing. I was so tired, bro. Like I can't even say what. I did. Period. Hustle never dies. I'm not lying. I am not lying. I'm not lying about anything. I mean, I have proof. I was trying to give y'all didn't believe there's proof. Guess I'll just have to post. Because I really thought about not posting anything. I did record a little bit. I didn't talk. I did record because I didn't know if I was going to ever share stuff. Because I was just like, what the fuck? Like, who goes to this shit like this, you know? Yeah, my mods is. Can one of my mods post my Cash App? I can't even post it. Stop lying. I'm not lying. 500. No, we're not. We're in a. No. We don't need proof. We see every year. Okay. Oh, but I was really preventing this, y'all. I was not trying to get pregnant. I was really preventing this shit. That's what fucked me up.
Okay, so I am going to stop playing her video at this point because we're roughly over halfway through it. The rest of it is pretty much addressing things that I've just talked about, and it's a lot of dead air, her looking at the camera, her acting like she's told the people something and she's told us nothing, and the chat just being done with her. The chat is hilarious by itself, and I'm pretty sure somebody, when they do the reaction, they're going to read the chat. But the point of this is that her and this mystery guy, this dude Booty Call Bay, are not together. I think she was just a hit it and quit it, something to do, and she slipped up and got pregnant. I don't think I believe this was a planned miscarriage. Yes, I said it. I do believe that. And when I watched the her follow ups, she came back on with a different attitude, with a different personality. And she realized that nobody was buying the BS. So I'm pretty sure that she has watched some of the reactors who have already reacted on this mess of a live. And she realized that she comes out looking like a fool. Now what she does, again, she shows the paperwork, and she shows the dates that she went to the emergency room, and the fact that it was she was having a miscarriage. So she does give proof, which to me, she knew that people were going to ask for proof. She's busy trying to show people pregnancy tests, pissed on sticks. Why would you want to do that in this day and age when people can buy fake pregnancy tests from Amazon? You guys done it for years. Come on now, the mommy sector literally has kept the fake pregnancy test uh, market alive. And then she says she has the results in her car. That is very private information. Why would you leave that in your car? But again, it's Jasmine, and I guess it's okay because she parks in a garage. But I'm just saying, it's just a weird place to leave that paperwork and then come online to tell the people that you need the money or you need $500. She goes on to say that she's going to DoorDash, but she's just asking for help. But again, like I said, she came on with this new personality. I guess she's trying out. You know how she used to act like Chrissy? I don't know who she's acting like now. There may be another content creator out here who she follows, but I don't follow a lot of them, so I don't know who she's mimicking. The only thing I can think of is she's trying to do a little bit of Live magic. Because you know how Liv will just come on with this I don't give a fuck attitude, I don't give a damn attitude, all of that. That's what she was giving off. Like, well, just forget it. I'll figure it out on my own. That's why I knew it wasn't that serious. Now, I believe the $1,000 that she needed last year, I do believe that she really needed it. And I do believe that led her to getting that title loan. But she's too cavalier about this. And those so called tears, her eyes were just irritated. You know how when you start rubbing your eyes, or you rubbing something in the corner of your eye, all of a sudden you get that little itch. It's probably those lashes and mascara that's doing it. So she's now decided, since y'all want to hate on me, it wasn't received well. I didn't plan it out well. I didn't tell the story well enough. The people weren't buying the BS. She's embarrassed, so she took it down. I don't know why she came back. I don't know if this was supposed to be um, damage control. What I suspect is that uh, in light of the fact she's not going to get the money like she thought she was, her cash app is not going crazy, that she has to somehow get some money. They don't mind clowning for the camera. So she's going to come over here and do these lives. And then I'm like, why would you do these lives, these follow up lives, and then delete them? Because remember, Jasmine, everything's content. She still has a live up where she cursed her mama for filth. That live is still up. Yet she takes down this live. They are not serious about their money. And many of us have said this over and over and over again. Now other people is making money off of her content, and that's why reactions will also continue. Not just because you guys are train wrecks and you're entertaining, but your cautionary tales. I like to say that we are documenting that there was resistance to this type of behavior. So 100 years in the future, if somebody somehow stumbles across your videos, or you're used as a source to how black women were acting in the 2020s, they'll know that that's not the norm, and they did have people who said otherwise. But also because people can make money off of you. All the channels that are monetized, it may not be a lot, but that little adds up. I'm pretty sure a lot of the reactors that are monetized, it helps pay a bill. Or maybe they can get a new pair of shoes, some cute little shoes that they wanted, or sandals, or it might even pay for a trip or vacation over time if they save it up. So it's not for nothing. And while Liv is playing hide the pickle with the IRS and Gerard, you over here, Jazz, are taking videos down just because you ain't serious about your money. You are monetized. Even though you look silly, you would have made money off of that video. This video. And the other two, because nobody's beating down the door to get to your membership. So I don't know why you've taken them away. People would have tuned in to watch, and they would have rewatched it without the reactors. But you have thrown it over to the reactors. And like I said, I have the membership lives. The only reason why I'm not reacting to them is because she moved them over to membership. Let's be clear. And I feel like YouTube is not the platform for me to play them. Somebody else might take up the mantle, download them, or react to them. I'm just not going to do it. It really isn't telling, other than her talking about her paperwork. Other than that, she's mad, she's pissed that nobody bought her story. She's smirking, she's happy, she's talking about how her breasts don't hurt anymore, how the veins have disappeared. Um, all that jazz. And she admits that when she came on live, with the woe is me, in the dark, all that stuff, that she knew she was pregnant. And yeah, she claims that when she was drinking and vaping, she didn't know she was pregnant until she went to the doctor. Hey, Jasmine, let me ask you to do me a solid. You don't have to do a video, just post it on your community board. How about you give us a timeline here? When did you go get those pills? Or did she do a video or a live around that time, alluding to the fact when she went to go, and I'm talking about the weight loss pills, when she went and found out she was pregnant? She said that she knew she was late, but she just thought it was what? Oh, it was just everything. There's always just everything with Jasmine. What is going on, Jasmine? Your little booty call bay? You could have, again, like I said, you could have made him four dimensional like Liv did. You really need to watch her and suspend your anger and your hostility towards her. Look how she crafts her stories. Look how she cultivates that little group of loyalty gang that will ride or die for her, that will believe every dumb thing that she says. If Liv had told this story that you just told, she would have got away with it, and she would have got $500 in cash out. She would have. You, on the other hand, you have a history of not going in it with your full chest. You may need to consult with ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever platform out there that it's in the whole AI realm, and you need to ask them, how do I craft this story? You need to start from A to B. You need to have them walk you through the steps. And then you need to practice. Then you need to set the scene. Then you need to run it back. And then run it back. And maybe put cue cards up. Maybe have Stanka over in the corner with some cue cards. Okay? Make this a family affair. That's what Liv did. So, I'm going to go ahead and end this video because I've had enough of jazz. It's late. I want to get this edited and up. But we'll see if she drops a video regarding this. Because, Jasmine, you got to make some kind of money off of this. She says she's already done the video. I think in light of the fact that it wasn't received very well, I don't know if she's going to drop the video. She should have dropped the video tonight, then came on live in the morning. She should have did that, because what would have happened would have been the reactors would have reacted to it, the comments would have been left, and then she could recraft the story and fill in the holes where is needed. But this damage control she tried to do tonight was horrible. And the wool that she was trying to pull over the people's eyes was synthetic. I don't know if they make synthetic wool, but it was a disaster. Tell me what you think in the comments. And as always, if you really like what I have to say, please consider liking this video, subscribing, and to the channel. And that let me know, the likes and the subscriptions let me know that you like what I have to say, even if it is all over the place. But again, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Jasmine was a Kiki. The last time I reacted on her, I almost fell to sleep. It's a grind. It's a tough thing to do, and this is one of the rare times that she gave me some meat to kind of bite into. So until the next time I upload, you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye now.